Hi everyone. I often see people asking for advice about the equipment that they might need to get to walk their greyhound, and I've done some other videos on this subject, but I thought it would be helpful in this video to talk about the right equipment for each dog. Normally your rescue will supply you with walking out equipment that you need to get you started, and they might also advise you on buying alternatives. It's a good idea to start with their recommendations, but what if you want to change things up later on? It can be tempting to buy something because the fabric is pretty, or maybe you've seen other people using it and thought it would be worth a go. But how do you know if it's the right thing for your dog? This can be very individual, and it's important to consider the dog's needs rather than just how it looks. So I thought we would have a look at each of my dogs in turn, and I'll show you what they wear and what's gone into my decisions that I've made in choosing that equipment for them. First of all, this is AJ. He's wearing the standard leather fishtail collar with buckle on lead that you often get from a rescue kennels. And I have tried him in a harness, but when he wore a harness, he just wouldn't move. So we're back in this. He is quite happy in this. He doesn't really cause me any trouble. So we've stuck with that basic equipment. Next up, down here on the floor, we have Meggie. She's still in a leather fishtail collar, but I've swapped onto this synthetic lead, which means she has a little bit more space, and she and AJ are not moving the same distance away from me, which helps with sniffs. And it has a very helpful handle here, which means if I do need to keep her close, I can use that handle instead of having to wrap the lead around my hand, which of course can cause danger to my hand. And then third up here, we have Jimmy. Jimmy wears, sorry, sweetie, Jimmy wears a Makuti harness because the perfect fit didn't really fit him that well around his breastbone and shoulders, because he needs this top piece to angle forwards. I have one lead end clipped on the side and the other from the front, but I put it through this side ring to stop it trailing. And I don't put a collar on him as well. Firstly, because when he initially came, he struggled with that, but also he is very sensitive to having the collar put on. So this is Gandalf. He is wearing a Makuti harness. He used to wear a perfect fit harness, but I had trouble when he leapt around reacting to dogs with the buckles here on the shoulder strap banging into my legs and giving me really quite nasty bruises. So I swapped him into this Makuti harness. I only now attach one lead to the front. Originally, he used to have a second lead here at the back, but I don't really need that now. This lead at the front helped me with steering, but I don't need this one at the back. He does still wear his collar and lead, a fishtail collar, because again, that helps me with directional control. So the last of them is, of course, Floppy, and he's also wearing a Makuti harness because he doesn't have any buckles here to bump into my legs. He has what I think of as the belt and braces approach. So because he has such an extreme reaction if he sees anything, then I have the harness with 2 points of attachment. I have one lead to a side ring and one lead to the front. This one goes through a carabiner just to stop it trailing. It doesn't need to do that. And I also have a separate lead to his collar. So if something happens, I have full control. And of course, he wears his muzzle. I did used to have a double-ended lead, which I threaded through to here, but I found the metalwork on that was causing me problems. So we're trying this arrangement, which is a little bit unwieldy with the 3 leads, but we'll see how we get on. He's definitely still a work in progress. Gandalf, who you saw last, he used to have this arrangement, and now we've been able to reduce it down over the time as he has become more settled. So with a dog like this, it's definitely a case of adjusting it to fit his needs as you go on. So as you can see, it's very different for each dog, and it has changed over time. So with your dog, you might start off with what the rescue offers, but bear in mind how you're getting on with that and see whether you might change that up. Just because it works 1 week doesn't mean it's going to work in a few months' time. That's all for today. I'll be back again soon with more videos for you. Bye for now.
Look out for new videos every Monday, and why not subscribe so you don't miss out?